Boy, it's been sort of a long winter. To tell you the truth, each one of these pieces of equipment had a pretty good workout this year. You know, living up in northern Minnesota, we have 6 months of winter. What's really critical is in 6 months from now, when I start this power auger, that snow blower or that snowmobile, it operates.
Winterizing, or in this case, summerizing your equipment, is the process of preparing engines and their fuel systems for extended storage. Grab a couple of cans, one mix for two-stroke use and one for regular gas only. Use roughly 1 ounce of seafoam per gallon of fuel. For two-stroke oil mixed fuel, use 2 ounces of seafoam per gallon, then top off. Doing so at the pump ensures the fuel you're adding to your equipment is treated so it stays fresh over the storage season. Now on to the equipment. I follow a 3-step process when preparing for storage. In step 1, top off the fuel tanks with treated fuel and run the engine for a few minutes. If I were just to do one task, this is it, as it ensures treated fuel reaches all critical fuel system components. For step 2, I spray seafoam spray directly into the intake system. The goal is to fog the entire intake system. Once the engine is warmed up, spray directly into the intake system, which will cause the engine to bog down and kill in some instances. This is what happens when you properly apply this product. Lastly, step 3 is the application of lubricant directly into cylinders to coat pistons and cylinder walls. This keeps them well lubricated and protects against corrosion. Start by removing the spark plug and giving the cylinders a liberal spraying of deep creep penetrating lube. Turn the engine over before replacing the spark plug so you're not battling compression. This spreads lubricant throughout the cylinders and piston components. Now on to the sled. The 3-step process repeats itself. Make sure your fuel tank is topped off and add the appropriate amount of seafoam, about 1 ounce per gallon of fuel. Run the engine to spread seafoam treated fuel throughout the fuel system and engine. So here's a little bit of a hiccup. The air intake system on this snowmobile and a lot of today's equipment can be tough to access. Here's a workaround. Disconnect your fuel line below the fuel shutoff valve. And with the engine running, spray seafoam spray directly into the fuel line. This is a direct way of fogging the system. The engine will kill out when properly fogged with seafoam spray. And finally, pull the plugs and give each cylinder a liberal shot of deep creep, followed by turning over to spread the lubrication internally. You've properly closed the garage door on some winter equipment. The warm weather months bring a new set of toys to the stage. Seafoam can be used in any engines, be it 2-cycle, 4-stroke, or diesel. High-frequency use equipment like my vehicle benefit from regular refilling and fresh gas. So in this case, I run a can of seafoam through my vehicle every 3,000 miles. But for my boat and other equipment that have longer fuel consumption cycles, run seafoam at all times to keep the